I'm Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. On today's video, we're checking out firmware 13 for the FM3. This has just been released and it brings the FM3, FM9 and Axe-FX 3 into lockstep with the same amp modeling and effect algorithms. I'm going to walk you through an 8-scene preset that I've put together that showcases some of my favorite new features in this firmware. I'll link this one in the video description if you'd like to try it out for yourself. Let's start off by hearing some of the new JVM crunch channel models. There is a model of the green, orange, and red modes of the Marshall JVM. The green mode is quite clean, and I quite like cranking up the gain and master volume on this one for a plexi style crunch. The orange and red modes, I like keeping the master a little bit lower, and to me, they have more of that JCM 800 flavor about them. Let's hear them really quickly with my free cab IR over here, LTTV Mix 7. I'm running all of this with the concert hall reverb at the moment. You'll notice in the reverb section that reverbs are now grouped by type. So all the rooms, halls, clouds, plates, special effects, and spring reverbs are all side by side. This makes it so much more convenient to compare different types and dial in a reverb to your taste. For now, let's hear this with my Les Paul Custom. I've got a Burst Bucket 2 in the bridge. The block has received a significant upgrade in this firmware, and there's several new chorus types. There's a dedicated vibrato type, a remastered Boss CE2 model, and something a lot of people have been waiting for, a dedicated Boss CE1 model. You've also got the Rockman chorus modeled in here as a specific type, a stereo and mono MXR chorus, and of course all the classics like the Dimension chorus. So let's start off by hearing the CE1. I've placed it after this JVM crunch channel and the cab, and in the expert tab, I've turned the width up to 100% so I get a lovely stereo spread. Let's have a listen to it. like chorus, you're absolutely going to love all those new types, and there's hours of fun awaiting you while you explore that block. Another noteworthy effect type that has been added is this Swedish metal based on the old Boss HM2. If you're into your 90s melodic death metal, running this with all the knobs on full into a JCM 800 model will do the chainsaw thing, but personally for me, I think this works as a great alternative to a fuzz. So distortion at 6, low cranked up, high below noon, and level to taste. I'm running this into the crunch red channel of the JVM. I'll also kick on some dimension chorus and a touch of this surround delay, which was added in one of the newer firmwares. This isn't new to this firmware, but it's still one of my favorite new delay types. Let's hear this. If you ever wondered what Entombed and David Gilmour had in common, it's using the HM2. I think a lot of people will enjoy that one. And as always, the drive block adds so much versatility to whatever amp you're using. And there's a lot of magic combinations to be found with either using a single drive or stacking multiple drives. One thing that I just love the sound of is using the ring modulator as an octaver. So if you set pitch tracking on and the frequency multiplier to 0.5, the ring mod and synth have these new tracking modes which can be optimized for guitar or bass. I would say if you're somebody who plays a down-tuned guitar a lot, if you set these new tracking modes to bass, you'll get a lot better tracking on the low end. But I'm pairing this one up with the Pi Fuzz Russian, so based on a Russian Big Muff. This is a lot of fun. I had my low string tuned down to B on that one, and setting the tracking mode to bass for the ring mod made a big difference. That will also work with the synth. There's also been some tracking improvements to the pitch block you can check out as well. Let's move on. I've got my PRS so I can get some split coil action happening over here. There is a model of the Rockman X100 chorus in here. My favorite settings are rate around 0.6 hertz and cranking up the depth. If you combine this one with the Rock Guy compressor up front, add a little bit of dual delay and something like the Mechanics Hall or the Concert Hall reverb we heard earlier, you've got that awesome late 80s compressed clean tone. And to finish up, a couple more chorus models with this crunchy amp. I'm using the JVM Orange, but I'm boosting it with a Boss Super Overdrive model. Let's have a listen to this MXR stereo chorus on here. This can be a great alternative to something like a pitch block or the enhancer if you want a stereo double tracking effect. Then we'll also hear the Boss CH1 chorus pedal on there. This is the same chorus that Zakk Wylde uses in his rig, and I like that this one has an EQ control, so you can kind of tailor the overall response a bit better to your guitar if you want it brighter or darker. Of course, where you place the chorus block is going to have a big impact on the overall tone and that stereo spread. If you want that super wide sound, place it after the amp and cab. If you want to mimic using a chorus pedal, place it before the amp and the cab. That is all for now. I've linked this preset in the video description so that you can try it out. I'll also put a link to my blocks library if you want to check those out. But I'd love to hear from all of you. If you've updated to firmware 13 on the FM3 or firmware 12 on the FM9, firmware 32.06 on the Axe FX3, please let me know what you're using on it, what you're enjoying the most, and how you're using it. Any other comments or suggestions, pop them in the comment section, and I will see you on next week's Tuesday Tone Tip. Take it easy.